Thank you, Jesus. Whatever you face this week, forward still. Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, even if you buck your toe, forward still. Disappointment come, forward still. Woo. And if another pastor fall, forward still. After the pastor we are follow. We obey with pastor, but we are follow Jesus. Forward still. Woo. Young people, walk holy. Walk holy. Make the right decisions. Walk right. Walk holy. Ramandosia. Rakandarabastiondarabosha. Walk holy. Forward still. It's Jehovah's will. Though the billows dash and sway with a concrete strength, we will push. Let the church be the church, and he will roll. Yes, he will roll. No matter what you face, he will roll. Even if you fall, get up and he will. Oh yes, and he will roll the sea away. Hallelujah.
Meet Vincent Wilson. He's a 105-year-old pensioner, but according to him, he doesn't look a day over 80. An accountant until the day he retired, his ability to recall is intact, but his hearing not so much. And so this is how we communicate. By writing questions on paper, he reads them with his big magnifying glass and responds.
This is where they said that we're going to put back the money, but like that. Not assuming responsibility, but the right way to people your money.
Mr. Wilson revealed that he noticed a significant amount of money in his savings account at the National Commercial Bank, NCB, was missing last year. He doesn't use online banking, neither does he use a debit card. Instead, his transactions are done over the counter with his physical bank book. During one of his monthly visits, he discovered that over $6 million was missing from his account. The withdrawals occurred over a 2-month period. In a single transaction alone, $5 million gone. His balance, $83,674.07.
I don't feel good at all. This one is in mash up. I don't eat, I lose my appetite. All that from morning here. It's just a backline show. You know? I don't have the appetite. I don't want nothing to eat. You know, it mashed me up. And the book itself here is where I'm supposed to be buried from.
TVJ News sought a comment from the bank about the matter. However, its policy doesn't allow for it to give out personal customers' data. Head of NCB's Fraud Prevention Unit, Dane Nicholson, said he would look into it. But for Social Development Specialist Dr. Peter and Baker, it's financial abuse.
Elder abuse, especially stealing the money that they worked hard for, or making it hard for them to get access to it, is one of the worst things we could do to the self-respect, the dignity of an older person. You fought so many battles that you're kind of, you know, why am I going to go and fight this one again?
And so, we asked Mr. Wilson what has kept him going.
The father upstairs. Because every Sunday, believe me, I have to get prayer in church. Sometimes it looks strange, but I go I want some personal prayer.
Vincent Wilson has since received a portion of his money back. Coupled with it is a signed document from the bank indemnifying it of any future legal actions. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
National Commercial Bank, NCB. And I want to know tonight, Jamaica, can one bank have so many irregularities and still operating? Can NCB have so many irregularities and they're still operating? You're going to tell me that one woman, 1.7 million last week, this man, 6 million, another one, that million, 500,000, 200,000, 250,000. And NCB is given the chance to go ahead and do as there's business as usual. Business as usual, Jamaica. Business as usual. And nothing comes out of it. Just an investigation. People get back some of their money. Some don't get no money at all. And we must just leave it like that. Imagine. You know why them never think them would have catch up on it? Because them same is a centurion. And because him is inside bank do it, you know. Courtney, I in the bank this do, you know. And inside of the bank this do, you know. I one of the 10 of them see the man money and do it, you know. One of the 10 of them see the man money and do this cruel act to him, you know. And the worst part of it, Jamaica, the worst part of it is it happens so frequently at NCB Bank. It happens so frequently at NCB Bank and nothing comes out of it. It happens so frequently at the National Commercial Bank and nothing comes out of it. But I'm going to say to you tonight, Jamaica, it's time for you to monitor your funds in the bank. You see, even if I want $200, you see, even if I want $10,000, monitor it. Monitor it aggressively, because the truth be told, people are saying they're not hearing me. Hearing me now? Are you hearing me now? Jamaica, you hearing me now, right? The truth be told, the banks are getting away with a lot of things. The banks are getting away with a lot of things. Sorry, producer, I just have to confirm with the public. Lord, producer, take time with me now, man. Hi. But the truth be told, Jamaica, A topic like this needs a Marvin Edgar. Who like Marvin Edgar? Tell me yes, teacher. You like the show last night? Who liked the show last night? You liked the show last night, Jamaica? Who carried somebody to class tonight? Last night we were on a roller coaster when Marvin Edgar from Up Jamaica joined us as he discussed the pathway for a better Jamaica. A lot of you called and messaged me and told me, you can send me your personal messages and let me know if you liked the show last night. Courtney, what is your take on the show last night?
The show was fabulous. I was very educated, very much edifying, and the views, like the views.
You like the views of Marvin?
The views of Marvin was excellent. Tipping off, he said he wanted a third party, which Mr. JLP and PNP feel. And in the streets right now, everybody, most people saying both of the team fail, but you know, diatic PNP and diatic Labour, right?
Yes.
It was great. We got a lot of views. Give thanks to the viewers.
So, Jamaica, tonight I want to show you a clip of your Prime Minister badding up himself, saying, oh, that clip man in Portmore, in Spanish Town yesterday. You want to hear him bad, him big, brave and bad. You listen to him right now.
Well, let me tell all the gang members who are licking their lips, looking on at big fat contracts to come, none of that will happen here. I want to say it loud and clear. We have already started to work with the JDF and the JCF. This will be a military camp if it has to be. There will be no extortion here, no illegal activity here, no controlling of site here. None of this government funding spending here will go to fund criminals. That link must be cut. Taxpayers' money can't come here. And people have name and list who don't come to work, collect pay, and then use it to buy God. Cannot happen. Cannot happen. This mustn't help build gangs. So those who have that in their minds, stay far from here. We have learned our lessons. We have seen where many government projects and other private projects, the criminals have sought to take it over. Don't put your eye on this one. The anti-gang legislation, we are perfecting it, and we intend to use it. So if you get work on this project, you better turn up and work. Want to be clear about that. If it means that I have to put JDF and JCF around here, and any man coming in or coming out has to be checked, and the roster has to be kept outside by the JDF and the JCF about attendance for work, then it will be done. It is sad that I have to speak this way at such an important launch. But until we put these things in the open and treat with them as it should be treated, it will always be continuing. Our generation must break the cycle. We must break the cycle.
We must break the cycle indeed, but what I want to say to Jamaica, how you so big, bad and brave? What about Cornwall Regional Hospital? Why you never talk so big, bad and brave when Cornwall Regional Hospital was being built? Why you not talk so big, bad and brave when St. Thomas Road was being built? Why you never talk so big, bad and brave when Portland Road was being built and the road in Manchester was being built? But all of a sudden, you have strength for the people of Spanish Town to say you're going to militarize this space and get JDF officer and, what am I saying, police force to come, man, work site. I'm going to say to you, you have a lot of time on your hand. You have a lot of time on your hand talking all those things. But when you see a society have to move from giving the police and the soldier their rightful duty, which is to go find criminal and protect us from criminal, to go man work site, that is where you get it wrong, bro God. That is where you get it wrong, bro God. And nothing more can convince me that you are off that pathway to rightfulness for this country. Because you hear you're big and bad, you're going to get soldier and police. Why not get soldier and police for the inner city them? Or you put them in the inner city, but guess what? You take out the criminal them and then go put in the soldier and the police. And it has always been said, and Marvin said it here yesterday. When election time comes, all of the spaces are free for the politicians to walk. But when the politicians leave the state, crime is just filling up the area. And this is not a lie. So you think, say, you're putting police officer and soldier over there going to make the people them comply to what you request? What it needs is a join-up approach where the citizens see themselves as the enablers and not the people who are being dogged down. But you see, you come with your Hitler style and think, say, Hitler style going to work all across this country, you know. But I'm going to leave you alone, you know. I'm leaving you alone tonight because I have to zoom in somewhat to what is happening with LeeDonaldson's case. Jamaica, LeeDonaldson's case is now up for mention. The trial is set for April 2025. Miss Sophie have to go wait another year to hear the verdict of that trial. Another year, Jamaica, Miss Sophie have to go wait to go hear what is the future of Noel Maitland's fate. But what is interesting is today, the defense carried evidence that they say suggests that Donnelly Maitland's credit card was used recently in Portland. Donnelly's Maitland credit card, all of a sudden, the defense attorney go and say, Donnelly Maitland's credit card was used in Portland. So Christopher Townsend, if the government couldn't find LeeDonaldson's credit card, how you find it? How you have access to LeeDonaldson's credit card unless it's one of Noel Maitland friend them did I use it? How you find LeeDonaldson's credit card and the government can't find the credit card? What you want to create? Reasonable doubt? What you trying to create? Reasonable doubt that LeeDonaldson is still alive? All right, Mr. Townsend, if you want to create reasonable doubt, carry LeeDonaldson body come at the courthouse. Carry LeeDonaldson body come at the courthouse. Tell your client, Noel Maitland, to make LeeDonaldson come appear in the courthouse. We need to see the video evidence to stipulate or to suggest that Donaldson was the one using her credit card in Portland. How you find access to that credit card? You hire a private investigator. Oh, so you hire a private investigator and private investigator tell us our credit card. So the credit card never used before that. It used a hotel, so the credit card not used to buy food. The credit card not used to shop online. The credit card not used to go on Shein or Amazon. But how you find credit card in a Portland? Interesting times ahead. Interesting times ahead, Jamaica. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. But Christopher Townsend, you're not going to win this case on reasonable doubt. Miss Sophia want to find her daughter's body. Miss Sophia want to give her daughter a memorial. And the hotel that is in Portland has cameras. Let us get the video footage to prove that it wasn't Donaldson who was using the credit card. I wonder if it is Kathleen. I wonder if it's Kathleen using the credit card. Because remember, Mama Sophia told us, it's several weeks and months, Donnelly take up our money and spend on Kathleen and the baby. And mind the picnic. You remember? You remember Mama Sophia used to talk and tell us, say, the money used to spend on Kathleen and the baby. I want to know tonight whose credit card that belongs to. And who using Donaldson's credit card. And you're going to tell me the credit card missing all of this time. But the credit card just show up in time when trial will start. Only take Jamaicans for kuna money. Only really take Jamaicans for kuna money. Only really take we for kuna money. But I'm going to say to Jamaica tonight, will you stand with Miss Sophia to get justice for her daughter? Will you stand with Miss Sophia to get justice for her daughter? Will you stand Jamaica with Miss Sophia to get justice for her daughter? Will you stand with Miss Sophia to get justice for her daughter? Let me take a break, and when I come back tonight, Jamaica, we will start our discussion on Governance 101 with Professor ROSALEA Hamilton.
My God, somebody praise him. Rock your body and praise him. And Jesus' body make you rock it. Rock and give him praise. Hey, my God. At the cross, where I first saw the light. And the burden of my heart roll away. I am working for a robe and a star on my crown. I am working. I only live my life to please the Lord. Yes, somebody praise him now. Walk out and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Give him praise in the home. Give Jesus praise in the home. Somebody praise high. Somebody praise him. Come now. Yes. In the middle of the night. Oh yeah. When me back against the wall. Oh Jesus. And me don't have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to pray. In the middle of the night. Yes, sir. In the middle of the night. Yes, when me back against the wall. Jesus, and me don't have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to pray. In the middle of the night. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Oh, our Father, what in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thank you, Lord. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In the middle of the night. Say it again. Oh, our Father, what in heaven. Somebody worship him. Hallowed be thy name. Yeah. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In the middle of the night.
Yes, Jamaica. Yes, Jamaica. In the middle of the night. Remember, Jamaica, I'm asking for your support for my GoFundMe. Last night, a few students gave, and I'm just asking tonight if 20 students from the class can give $10. Put up the GoFundMe link. During the show tonight, I won't be talking about it much until the ending of the show. I'm asking for you to support the GoFundMe link. I'm asking for you to send some support to my GoFundMe. It can be $10, it can be $20. And if you want to Zelle you can WhatsApp me for the Zelle information and I can give you that information. All right? But tonight, Jamaica, last week we carried convener for the Advocates Network Jamaica on the program. And tonight, Jamaica, she's here to join us back again. Let us welcome to the show tonight, Professor ROSALEA Hamilton.
How are you?
Hi, Prof. Hamilton. I am well.
I am
How was
doing
your
well
week from
myself.
last week until now?
You know, coping and doing, can't complain, you know, we're managing.
Wow. Prof. Hamilton, last week we started to discuss, let me get back to my notes, because we had a very good conversation last week.
It looked like you're a good student, you took notes.
Yes, we have to take notes, you know, because when we come back here, they know that when I am here, I do from time to time pop-up quiz.
Okay.
So we spoke about participatory governance last week. We spoke about the importance of accountability and transparency. And with that, we touched on the issues regarding the Integrity Commission and the illicit enrichment. We then went on to calling for the need for fixed election dates. And then we entered into the discussion about equality and inclusion. And the people were saying, let us speak about the need for reintroduction of civics in schools. And we took it from there, and we spoke about the state of emergency being a violation to human rights and how it has been used time and time again, and how it has been violated and how many people's rights have been violated. Yeah. You can take it from there.
Okay, so what we tried to do last week was just to, you know, deepen our understanding of what this thing called governance is. And we use some of these examples that we're familiar with, that we know. And tonight we want to talk about the relationship between governance and human rights. I think your listeners who are familiar with the Advocates Network know that that's our focus. We are focused on promoting good governance and human rights in Jamaica. And so just to remind the audience, when we talk about governance, we're really talking about how we organize and manage our country, Jamaica. And we're talking about how we make decisions, how we create and enforce rules, and yes, generally how we try to create a society in which people are treated fairly and humanely. The efficiency of how we do it also matters, and in whose interests. So all of this is what we're talking about. We can think about it like how a team works. You know, many of us are involved in either sporting team, or we have teams at work. And the key idea is, how do we work together to make decisions to achieve our goals? That's kind of where we want to go. So we can think about this governance as how Team Jamaica works, right? And for us as citizens, we hire people, you know, we entrust them, we give them the power to run and manage Jamaica on our behalf. And we're talking about the roles and responsibilities we have in relation to that relationship. We don't just give them the power and say, do what you want, and, you know, just quarrel or complain or whatever when things go wrong. We have to find a way to engage. And we talked about how, you know, frameworks and ways in which we can go to Parliament and we can talk to our parliamentarians. And of course, outside of Parliament, we ought to have regular conversations with our members of Parliament. And so the idea is, if we're doing that well, we can realize and have good expectations about human rights. We can trust that the country will be organized in a way that upholds laws, upholds rights and freedoms, the rights and freedoms that are in our Constitution. That's Chapter 3 of our Constitution, has very important rights and freedoms. And we want to make sure that those are protected. And so when we don't have good governance, then we tend to see these human rights abuses, and that's what we want to prevent. So that's just to show there's a strong link and relationship between good governance and human rights. And we want that framework for managing the country to ensure that we have good human rights. And we talked last week about accountability and transparency. Well, if there is accountability in how things are done, then if there are human rights abuses, then we can ferret them out, we can get them and we can come to them and say, no. That's not the way to treat people. And we see a number of cases in which the way in which people are treated are seen as an abuse of human rights or violation of human rights. And we have to be very, very mindful of that. And also, lastly, with respect to participation, we talked a lot about that last time. And that also is important because when we participate, we can say to our representatives, listen, we don't like that rule because that rule tends to infringe our right. Or we want this kind of a decision to strengthen our rights and freedoms. So when we have a voice, we also are part of the rule-making process that ultimately can protect these rights and freedoms.
But Prof. Hamilton, we have the International Declaration on Human Rights. There are about 21 of them.
I think it's 30.
30. My sincere apologies for that. Jamaica is a signatory to the Convention of Human Rights. But on a day-to-day basis, those basic human rights are being breached.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, let us look at Corporal Rowan James.
Mm-hmm.
Can we put up the news on Corporal Rowan James? Corporal Rowan James has been interdicted. He won the case in the Supreme Court. The JCF now is carrying him back to court for it to be appealed for him not to go back to work. And all Corporal Rowan James was doing was talking out, and that is the right for freedom of speech. How can the right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression be breached upon, and it takes away from your right to work? Can you expand on this, Prof. Hamilton? I think it's a major violation on the rights of Corporal James, and we cannot continue on a pathway like this. This looks like it's a dictatorship.
Well, first of all, the matter is before the court, and that's the first and important point to make, that whenever we have these breaches, we have the opportunity to take them to our courts and to litigate the issues and to really see if, in fact, these rights have been violated. Now, of course, as we know, the devil always in the details in these cases. So it is going through the courts, and therefore we trust that that procedure will ultimately ferret out the extent, with all the details that will be presented, the extent to which the rights were violated.
But he's to remain off the work.
Sorry?
He's to remain, they're saying that he's to remain off the work, off the job, pending the appeal.
Right. Now, remember, because it's going through the process, then there is a decision on the part of the courts to ensure that the process is fully discussed, information is gathered, etc., etc. So that decision is a decision pending an appeal, right? And so there are issues, I know, and there are concerns about a violation of that right to work. And we can talk a little about what that means. Article 23 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights speaks about the right to work.
Let us play Article 23 and then we come back to that.
Okay.
Article 23, the part where deal with work. Everybody have the right to get work. Fi choose freely the type of work them want. to have good and fair working conditions and protection from things where we cause them to not have no work. Everybody, without any kind of bias against them, have the right to get equal pay for them same type of work. Everybody who work have the right to good and fair pay to make sure say him and him family I live a life where make him feel good about himself and say him worth something in a life and can get any other sort of pay if him need it by any other support where society can offer. Everybody have the right to join or form the group them will protect and look out for them safety and rights in them work. This is for the protection of the things them will benefit them.
Everybody have the right to work. Everybody have a right for work.
Right.
You and James have a right for work, Prop Hamilton.
All right. And so as in his case, I say we have to respect that judicial process that it's going through. There's a whole, there's also a right to a fair trial and, you know, to be able to express his side and for it to be examined in detail. So I think in this case, we have to allow that process to work. And to the extent that he's been out of work and the decision is in his favor, then he will be justly compensated. So I'm not too worried about that. I think the question for the rest of Jamaica is the extent to which this right is fully exercised, if we have done enough to protect that right, because it includes the right to a just and favorable working condition. Now, I want to just bring to your attention a piece of legislation that has been talked about for a long time, which is the Occupational Health, Safety and Health Bill. Now, that is something that we've been talking about it a long time. This is supposed to promote and create a kind of minimum standard in which we can protect workers at work. Now, quick history. So from 2017, remember Minister Shahina Robinson, and she tabled that bill all the way back in 2017. And there was a joint select committee. They reviewed it. Recommendations were made to Parliament and so on. And then it was withdrawn. It was withdrawn because, you know, there's still debate about its limited coverage and so on. Now, last year, I think it was, Carl Samuda, the minister at the time, promised to table the bill, right? And in fact, for this financial year, there was also promise in the legislative agenda to table this bill. But to date, the bill is not tabled. And I raise it because this is where the voice of workers is important. That, you know, we have to push and say, hey, here's a piece of legislation that we need to pay attention to. Note that Jamaica is one of the few Caribbean countries that benefited from assistance from the International Labour Organization, right? And so we got financial help and other kind of technical help to make sure that we have this legal framework, right? And other CARICOM countries have been able to, you know, bring this legislation to the table, right? Guyana, Belize, and so on. So we remain one of the few countries in the Caribbean that have not effectively implemented this piece of legislation. I raise it because...
But what is the benefit of that legislation to Jamaicans?
Well, we talk about conditions of work, right? And of course, when you think about working in different society, there are different standards. You know what I mean? And in some societies, you know, they accept certain standards as okay, right? And in other societies, that would be unacceptable. Just the way the societies run, right? No, the International Labour Organization, as an international organization, says, listen, let us try to define a minimum standard, a standard that no matter where you are in the world, we can agree to that. And so part of the legislation is about framing those issues, putting these protections in place to ensure there's a minimum standard. And so I connect it to the international obligation that we have under Article 23 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, because it's part of the idea of this right to work in good conditions. And I also want to raise another issue that's part of this right. And for your female listeners, you want to note this very carefully, that under this provision, everyone, without any discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work.
Equal pay for equal work.
Very important. Just last year, one of the arms of the university, the organizations that have come out of the university, Capri, has done a study, right? And Capri made the country be aware of the fact that women in Jamaica, on average, earn 61% less than their male counterparts.
61%.
61% less. And this is
truth
mainly
that
in the
majority of our
agricultural
labor
sector.
force is women.
So women are not getting equal pay. And what is even more disappointing in the inequality that has persisted for a long time, it's been going on long, this is not a new thing, right? Long time we've been seeing this inequality in the data. What is troubling is that more and more we see in the university, and you're a university man, you see that a lot of women are there, right?
Yes.
and that there is the information we have suggests that more women now are getting educated. So it is troubling that if more women are getting more education and they're not being paid comparable, equally like men, for equal work, then there's a problem.
Equal work for equal pay.
Yeah. And so we should note also that this speaks to a deeper issue of gender discrimination, right? And in fact, there are these different rankings across the world and so on, and Jamaica has scored, I think it's 0.89 on this gender gap, but whatever it is, what it means is that Jamaican women are about 10% less likely to have equal economic opportunities as men
than that of our male counterparts.
So all of these speaks to these rights, because remember, the number one right in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is this right to equality.
Equality.
Right?
Can we play the right to equality, please?
Sorry?
Let the producer play the right to equality and we get back to it.
And while he's looking at it, we're talking about everyone born with this right to equal dignity. And we have rights as human beings, right? And this is a core right, because a lot of these violations are violation of the idea and the fact that humanity ought to exist. All of us as human beings ought to coexist and live in a world with some basic respect
right
for who we are as human beings.
Just a moment, Jamaica.
Article 1, the part we deal with how we treat people. Everybody born free and equal with respect for themselves and with rights. Them know how to reason, cause them have sense and know we're right from we're wrong. And them for treat them one another like say them a brother and sister.
And I know a lot of your audience.
Treat them one another like them brother and them
sister. And I know your audience, many of them go to church and so on. And that is this is a biblical principle of love your neighbor as yourself. Love each other. And this idea that we are equal is a fundamental human rights.
Prof. Hamilton, let us get a little bit more into some regional matters. We're talking about the right to life and the right to housing and the right, like what is happening in Haiti presently. where the Haitians have been seeking relocation to Jamaica. And the Jamaican government is sending them back home. Do you want to expound on that, please?
Well, again, I think you have a clip, and of course, our listeners are hearing the articles, the provisions of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in Patois, which is a very recent thing. Eh? Most Jamaicans don't, most people don't know that. Just last year, in December last year, that these have been translated Patois. So let's hear the Patois so that it's clearly communicated in our language.
Just a moment. Let me look for which article it is.
This is Article 14.
Article 14.
Right.
The right to seek asylum.
Article 14. The part where deal with people who run away from them country, seek out bad treatment. Everybody have the right to seek out and enjoy safety and shelter in our next country, cause them are run away from wicked and bad treatment in them own country. You not have this here right here if you get charged for crime when you involve government business or when you do things that go against the mission and rule them at the United Nations.
So again,
the right to seek asylum.
Yeah, you know,
the
you're
right
running
to seek
from
asylum is a big thing now because a lot of Jamaicans are running across the border, and a lot of Haitians and Cubans are now seeing Jamaica as their place to come and seek refuge. Do you want to expound on that?
It's a very, very good point, the way you frame it, because it's not just about Haitians coming to Jamaica. Jamaicans must remember, plenty Jamaicans are going to the US and other countries, and they seek asylum sometimes because of the abuses that they face here. And sometimes they're economic refugees. They are going because they want a better standard of living. And we're going to talk a little about Article 25 that speaks to this idea that we have rights to a decent standard of living, right? Very important right, and we'll come back to that. But this idea in Article 14, right, that everyone has the right to seek and enjoy asylum from prosecution, right? Now, what has happened is that the Haitians have come here, and before they even land out at sea, we literally send them back. We don't give them this opportunity to seek asylum. And the article makes it very clear that if in fact people are running away because they've involved in criminal activity, say, right, and they're running away, then the right to asylum is not a right, because you know, if you commit a crime, that's just not acceptable, right? But you have to at least go through a process before we can be
right. Exactly. And who don't.
Exactly. So we're saying it is not fair. Haitians are our brothers and sisters, and they're not just our neighbors, you know. The Haitian people have had a long history of suffering.
Similarly.
Because
to the Jamaicans.
They dared to break away from
their colonial
inhumane system of slavery.
Right?
The problem going back from there, right? And so the Haitians have been under a lot of pressure since then because of their fight for freedom, and the country has been unstable since. And so there's a lot, every now and then there's a flare up and so on and so on. So there's a recent flare up since they killed the president. There's
the president of
instability. And I think that Jamaicans should be aware of the idea that there is
that instability that has taken over Haiti. Some Jamaicans would argue that having the Haitians come here, it will further create greater instability in Jamaica. What's your take on that?
Well, you know, the point is this, that they don't come to Jamaica and simply get free reign to do as they like. Similarly, when we go to the US and any other place where we are seeking asylum, and some of Jamaicans go seeking asylum, you are held in a place where you have a chance to examine and investigate. And so I think that's one thing to bear in mind.
Yes.
Remember, Jamaicans, let's be frank and honest with ourselves, that many Jamaicans, including many criminals, leave Jamaica and want humane treatment when they go to these countries.
Overseas. Yes.
So the idea is, it's a simple kind of, in my mind, a very simple biblical kind of idea of treat your neighbor as yourself. So what we as Jamaicans would like when we go abroad seeking economic, because we think that we want to standing in the society because we're economic refugees, say, or whether we're moving away from prosecution from in whatever space and sphere it exists in Jamaica, however it manifests itself, right? And we want to be treated fairly. We want to have freedom. We want a right to be heard,
yes,
and to get here to make our case, and ultimately during that process to make sure that we're treated fairly and with dignity.
But Prof. Hamilton, I want to carry the discussion a little further tonight. Jamaica has been having interest in the affairs in Haiti, meaning we have heard the Prime Minister and the government saying that they wanted to take over and not take over, but to interfere in the affairs of Haiti, to the point where they're saying that they would have taken some of our military and police to go over there to assure and to get some level of stability. But my question is, with that happening in Haiti, why then are we turning back Haitians to Haiti, knowing the situation that is happening there, and which we have had a great interest in?
And therein lies the problem, that we know of the instability and we are involved at several levels. What you mentioned in terms of a promise to provide military assistance is one form of relationship, but also we've had,
yes,
we're part of the eminent persons group, former prime ministers who've come together across the region and said, listen, we want to try to resolve this matter. So Jamaica, formally through our government, has intimate knowledge, has a lot of information about what's going on, the conditions from which people are fleeing. So we are disappointed, and we've expressed it in our year in review, that we're very disappointed that we're not giving the Haitians a chance to come here and to get help. And we think that if it is a situation where, and I know there's a fear on the part of Jamaicans where we're going to be flooded and so on. Remember, Jamaicans, we are not the only country that accepts and works with refugees. And there's a whole arm of the UN that deals with refugees. There's arrangement in place to get international help to support them. Why? Because they are human beings and they deserve to be treated with the dignity and respect of human beings. They need to be fed, the children need to be cared for, and they need to be clothed and so on. And I can say that I am proud of the work that I'm doing with the advocacy network.
Can you tell us some of the work that you have been doing with the Haitians?
Well, yes, we have been actually providing assistance to the Haitians. We've provided food, we've provided toys for the kids because there are kids there as well. We've collaborated with the churches in doing so. The Anglican Church has been very supportive. Members of the Advocates Network. We've worked with other organizations that have, and individuals within the church have provided support. And we've literally, I want to say that, wearing my hat as with the Lascochin Foundation, we have also supported this effort in providing products from the company.
Can you say on average about how many Haitians you have assisted over the past year?
Well, there were 39 Haitians that came in the first round last year. And there are several groups that have come before and since. But that group is here and they're being processed. So they're going through that legal process. And we're collaborating with the organizations that are working with this group, and they are providing legal as well as other forms of assistance. And so we're mindful of that. We're not just talking about these rights that must be upheld, but as a group, as a group of advocates, we have actively participated in providing assistance to these Haitians.
So what would you say to a fellow countryman that is saying, how Advocates Network look after the Haitian them and so many Jamaicans are suffering on a day?
Well, let me say that tell Jamaicans that the members of the Advocates Network, barring none, are all actively involved in addressing social, economic, psychological problems facing the Jamaican people, whether it is gender-based violence, and we work both with women and men who are a part of abusive arrangements. We have members who are actively working in this space. We provide support for prisoners to ensure that their rights are upheld in the prisons. We work in the schools to work with the most at-risk youths, and we provide assistance to them. Many of us, including the work that I do in the Lasco Chin Foundation, we have provided tremendous food support to Jamaicans through the entire COVID period, and I could go on. So we don't just advocate and complain, but we do provide tangible assistance to Jamaicans in need.
Prof. Hamilton.
I could talk about entrepreneurship program. So we're not just giving people stuff, but also helping people to help themselves. So we run entrepreneurship. Several members of the network run entrepreneurship programs and programs where we provide personal development. And so I said, I could spend the whole show talking about that, but I know you don't bring
me. Well, you know what I would want is the Lasco Chin Foundation to take on Premier Partner Draw Kitchen as one of my entrepreneurial ventures and be one of the sponsors to my kitchen. You never know.
I set up myself for that, Andre, right?
But Prof. Hamilton, let us go a little bit into what is happening in Palestine, between Palestine and Israel. Can you expound a little bit on that issue of refugee, asylum, etc.?
Yes, this is very, very, very troubling. The issue of course, asylum also comes up because, the situation has created Palestinian refugees. And so in light of what we're seeing, then the question again arises, which countries are prepared to help? Right?
Yes.
Now,
I don't think Jamaica is prepared to help based on our standing in the United Nations of late. We abstained.
Well, that was a troubling decision. Let me say, set of circumstances, in the sense that we've heard that there was, whatever the reason was, they couldn't be present. So it wasn't as if they voted against it, but we think that's not good enough on an important matter like this, that the world has stood up for. There are few instances in which so many countries around the world, right? I think we failed to join 120 countries across the world who voted to call for a ceasefire to protect civilians and uphold legal and humanitarian obligations. We failed to join 120 countries. That was very disappointing. And so,
it was our Prime Minister and Kamina Johnson-Smith who failed to do so.
Right. And we now see a situation where South Africa, enough respect to South Africa and their decision to take this matter to the International Court of Justice.
Criminal Court.
Right. Now, that's very, very, very important, because we now have a legal action. Again, this is coming out of the world's agreement that we need an international court to examine some of these issues of human rights abuses at the international level. And what the South Africans have alleged is that Israel has committed and has failed to prevent genocidal actions. So killings and the physical abuse and the mental harm and all these things, and in summing up effect to having the effect of destroying the state of Israel and the part of Israel that comprise Palestinians' nationality and ethnicity. And so it is that idea, and there's a whole range of human rights abuses.
So we must big up South Africa to leading this charge.
Yes, South Africa is leading the charge, and significantly, South Africa makes
and surprisingly, Jamaica has not taken a lead on it. Jamaica is silent on the international scene.
And that is so important, because Jamaica was the first country that imposed sanctions against the apartheid regime. And that's so important. The South Africans pointed out that in 1948, when apartheid started in South Africa, that was the very same year that the apartheid arrangement in Palestine started. And so the South Africans feel a moral commitment to take this challenge. And they've highlighted the human rights abuses with respect to the occupation and settlement of these areas, including the West Bank and East Jerusalem. They argue that, of course, this is a violation of international law, right? And the displacement of people that we're seeing. There's home demolitions.
Yes.
There are the restrictions of people, movement, right? Obviously, the impact on children, the children's rights, right? I mean, all of us should be concerned.
Approximately how many children have been killed in the Hamas?
I have lost count of the number, I have to tell you, that it is truly staggering. That
it's over 4,000 the last time I checked.
And one more is too much. So we see these abuses, we see the restriction of movements and so on. All of these rights are being violated. And so the discussion of human rights is not just about human rights in Jamaica, right?
In Jamaica, it's across the globe.
Yes, and we're talking about human rights across the Caribbean when we talk about Haiti. But we're now seeing that...
And we're talking about even the Essequibo region.
Yes, there's that as well. Absolutely, these rights and so on, are being. So I think the real point we want to get to, why we're having this discussion, Andre, is that there is an important relationship between governance and human rights. And if we don't have good governance, we will not have human rights protection, and they go hand in hand. And again, I repeat that Jamaicans need to understand these rights and to support advocacy to protect these rights, because these rights get to the heart of who we are as human beings.
Let us look at the final right tonight.
Yes. And we're here
Article 25, the part will deal with the quality of life. Everybody have the right to a quality of life for good enough for the health and wellness of himself and him family. This means that them fi have food, clothes, house, and health care, and the service them what them need in a society. And the right for them get government support if them not have no work, if them sick, if them disabled, woman who for husband dead, and man who for wife dead, old age, or somebody will not have no sort of pay or money are coming in a one situation where them not have no control over. Woman where mother and picnic deserve special care and help. Every picnic, whether or not their mother and father did married at the time when they born, to enjoy the same protection where society offer.
You see that last one, very important, you may
Let us play it back. Let us play it back.
All right,
so that they can hear it.
Article 25, the part will deal with the quality of life. Everybody have the right to a quality of life for good enough for the health and wellness of himself and him family. This means that them fi have food, clothes, house, and health care, and the service them what them need in a society. And the right for them get government support if them not have no work, if them sick, if them disabled, woman who for husband dead, and man who for wife dead, old age, or somebody will not have no sort of pay or money are coming in a one situation where them not have no control over. Woman where a mother and picnic deserve special care and help. Every picnic, whether or not their mother and father did married at the time when they born, for enjoy the same protection where society offer.
Prof. Hamilton, who write that patwa there?
Well, you know, the UN trying a thing and, you know, them translate. I don't know who is behind it, but
Hey, I see some word and me say, what? But the
we hear it.
pronunciation is good. But when you look at the writing kind of somewhat
Yes.
But
Yes.
Prof. Hamilton, the right to a standard of living is a big discussion at hand. Because majority of Jamaicans would argue that the hospitals are off. Many Jamaicans would equally say that the right to education is a big one, but when they go into the school systems, they're not getting adequate education. I'm asking you now to start that discussion as we have that discussion to lead.
All right. It's a very, very important right, because that article by itself kind of encapsulates, kind of captures the whole development challenge that we have in our countries, right? Everybody wants to live good. It boils down to that, right? And so the idea of good quality life is kind of subjective. What does that mean? Is there a standard of what we talk about good quality life? Again, just as we saw in the right to work, the conditions in each country would differ. So what I see as a good quality life in Jamaica may not be a good quality life abroad. For example, some of us look at the coal that Jamaicans are living in foreign and say, boy, we don't really want to live there. And we have this great sunshine and so on. So just the idea of the framework in which you live matters. No, not every country can provide. These, of course, are God-given blessings, sunshine. But in terms of what, as society, we can provide to citizens, as you say, good health care, right? Housing, right? Education, all of these we see as important. But the question is, can the countries pay for it? That's the issue.
Of course, the country can pay. Can you play the video of the water minister telling the Caribbean, the people of Portmore, they'll be without water for that? You have that video there with Matches Samu, that's there, man.
We have heard the concerns raised from residents of sections of St. Andrew and indeed downtown Kingston. We've also heard the concerns that have been coming from residents of Portmore and Spanish Town as it relates to the upgrades and maintenance, scheduled maintenance for those who are served by the Bybrook wells. I think important to note that there is a fundamental misunderstanding. What the Water Commission has sought to do is to be transparent. It has acknowledged that work will take place for 3.5 weeks and that there is the risk and possibility of some disruptions. However, we have acknowledged that there is a misunderstanding that there would be a disruption for 3.5 weeks. That is absolutely not the case. What we have sought to do is just to make sure we've taken the public into our confidence to say these works must be done so that we can return the stability and the reliability to Portmore, to Spanish Town, and indeed to the 6 Mile area and its environs. We know you have had challenges in recent months. We are working to fix those. This well is 75% clogged. The best time to fix it is now. And the reason being is that the Hermitage Dam and the Mona Dams are at 100%. So they will be able to supplement the supply all the way to 6 Miles. So the St. Andrew and Kingston community is covered. I wish to assure residents of Portmore, Spanish Town, and indeed environs that the NWC has commenced using 3 wells, which we had previously rested, to ensure that disruptions are cut to a minimum, if any, at all, from this maintenance exercise. I want to assure the public that they will not be without water for 3.5 weeks. And we are monitoring the situations related to many legacy issues and indeed current maintenance issues very carefully. Where there are disruptions, they can be assured that the National Water Commission and indeed the Ministry of Local Government will facilitate significant trucking if necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, we know there can be anxiety with water disruptions. There will be no 3.5 week disruption. What we said is that there will be maintenance work for 3.5 weeks, and it will significantly improve the water supply. We aim to reduce the challenges you faced in recent months, and thank you for your patience and for your understanding.
Prof. Hamilton, the right to standard of living and things just as water is a big thing in Jamaica right now. And the residents of Portmore and St. Catherine are very concerned, and downtown Kingston are very concerned about this well that is to be rehabilitated. Here's the water minister saying that water will not be disrupted. It's just a case where there will be some hiccups here and there. But then the Water Commission is saying that the people will be out of water for 3 weeks. How then do we fix a situation like this, the right to adequate water?
Well, you know, this is a good example of countries trying to live up to this obligation that we understand the importance of water, but the practical reality of getting water to every citizen is not a simple thing. It has issues.
You can't get it to Portmore because Portmore has so many communities, so many households. It's not like it's a dormitory community where you can carry it into that place. I know that everybody get the water here and there. I'm talking about, you have about 200 communities in Portmore, if not more.
Right.
How then are you going to assist in sorting out this water crisis? It sounds like a bangarang.
Well, I don't know the details, but it also sounds like that there are efforts to try to fix a bad system to give better service. And I think that, again, I don't have the details. Let's give the minister some time to see what that whole process of maintenance and repairs and upgrading and whatever needs to be done is done over that period. And then we can see, hopefully the residents can report that after this period of difficulty where, you know, there may be disruptions and so on, there'll be better flow. But I think to come back to
you though.
Sorry?
I would just say to that, I don't think the residents are going to be patient enough to wait, because for the latter part of last year, there have been some serious water crisis in Portmore. And to now be told that for another 3 to 4 weeks, there's going to be another water crisis.
Yeah.
That don't sound good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can understand the impatience, because this is an issue that's going on for a long time. And importantly, water and access to water is fundamental. It's fundamental to our existence and how we live as human beings. And so let's see how this is managed in terms of, you know, over time. Once this thing is resolved, let's see if we can address it. But I think what it says to us and what we should bear in mind as we look at water, housing, education, and so on, is that our capacity to pay for these upgrades and so on is directly linked to the strength of our economy. And yes, last time I think I was talking about this relationship between governance and economic development. And again, we're back in that discussion, because the capacity, the ability of the country to pay for the education, the quality education we need, the quality healthcare, and so on, is very much linked to that. And I think the discussion that we had last time about governance is about what is the governance arrangement that gives us the economic decisions and outcomes that we have. So that,
Yes.
you know, we have to ask the question, whose interests are we serving when we make some of these economic decisions? And for a long time, Jamaicans are asking the question, how are we reporting that the economy is doing good? We hear fundamental economic indicators are going in the right direction, and we're hearing all of these different indicators
But
that
it doesn't
suggest that
come
the
down
economy is
back
doing
to
good,
the,
but people don't feel it.
don't feel it. People not feeling it. It's
They're
not
not feeling it.
tangible. People can't relate to it. People are saying you're talking about the economy doing well, but when I go to the supermarket, I can barely buy 2 things well. I can't use 5,000. I can't use 10,000. I get 1, 4, 5 bag of groceries. These days, if you want to, say you want to go to a restaurant, you can't spend 5,000 and get a good meal. You have to spend at least 10, 15,000 to get a good meal at a restaurant. You can't go to a movie again because movie is luxury. You can't go to a recreational activity because you don't have money for that. The what do you call that one again? We call it the minimum wage. The minimum wage is a bit too low, and the minimum wage can't meet the market demands. Tell us some more on what you're talking about now, Prof. Hamilton.
Well, we're seeing it now. I think we mentioned last time that, for example, there is concern. Donaldson did this poll recently, and the question in the poll was, you know, what would get people to vote? And the number one answer, the number one issue that was raised is this idea of opportunities for jobs and access to jobs. But remember, we are now being told that the unemployment rate is at an unprecedented low level, 4.5%. We've never seen such a low rate. But what does it mean? It means that the people who have jobs are not able to live the good quality of life that they want to live. It's not enough, as you say, you go to supermarket and so many people are putting back things because when they get to the counter, they can't. Just the other day I went and pick up a few things just because I was going back somewhere, having a meeting, and said, let me pick up a few things. And when I look at the bill, it's more than minimum wage. And I'm saying, what is this? You know, so the idea is that.
So were you in a position that you had to put back things properly?
I can tell you, I have found myself in a position where I've had to put back because I said, boy, I don't really need that. So I put it back. And I joined at that point.
I began to see. Professor can put it back. What do you think me would have to do?
This is what I'm saying. So I mean, I know I'm better off than plenty people, but I understand the decisions we have to make at the counter because I too I never planned to spend that amount of money. And so I had to find myself putting back things. So that speaks to the idea that we're not earning enough, right? And remember, we talked earlier about the inequality in wages. So as bad as things are, it's worse for women. 61% of women in Jamaica who are employed are earning less than the men. So we have to do much more to improve the quality of life. And I suggest that this is very much tied to the whole way we run the country, or we manage the country. This is about governance. So if we have good governance, we'll get better decisions because we have a framework in which our voice can be heard. We can help to shape the decisions. We can help to find answers to the problems we have, including the water answers, right?
Yes.
And the more we get involved in these decisions, the better our outcomes will be. And when we have better outcomes, we can lift the standard of living of the Jamaican people.
Wow. You hear that's where we leave the discussion tonight, Jamaica. We need to improve the standard of living, and improving the standard of living, that's how we get a better quality of life. And that takes into account not just the people doing this better standard of living, but policies and legislations are to be put in place to improve the lives of every Jamaican citizen. And that's where Prof. Hamilton leaves us tonight. But thank you, Prof. Hamilton, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, we'll have her back in another 2 weeks. Next week, we'll have another guest. but in another 2 weeks, herself or another member of Advocates Network
Yes.
Jamaica will join us. Let us set a rat trap, and then when we come back, I will have a lively discussion ahead of us. Thanks again, Prof. Hamilton.
All right.
All right. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. With the 2 for the rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. With the 2 for the rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the parliament. Set a rat trap with the 2 for the rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot. Set a rat trap in a FLA. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap in the school. The one them where teeth to picking them money. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the judiciary. With the one them where take money out of the table. Set a rat trap for the lawyer them. Set a rat trap. Take the people money and take them land title. And them not get no title. Hello? Set a rat trap. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Hello? Hello? Me say we set a rat trap in the church. For the one them we are thief the offering. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. We must catch them. Set a rat trap in the tax office. Set a rat trap in the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Me say we set a rat trap. Andre. Oh my God. We are suffering in Jamaica with the corruption. Jesus Christ, you can't get them. Set a rat trap down on the wharf. Set a rat trap for the, what they call them? Set a rat trap down on the wharf, man. Yes? And set a rat trap in the airport. Hello? Hello, you know, say all here Jamaica bankrupt, but we don't know where the money go. Set a rat trap, set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 for the rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the entertainment. Hello? Set a rat trap in the entertainment. Set a rat trap. I'm saying set a rat trap. For those who are do contract killing. We must catch them in America, in England, and in Canada. Set a rat trap to the one them with Jamaica. With the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Hello? Set a rat trap. We must get them. Tear off the cover and expose them. Set a rat trap. All right, sir. Set a rat trap.
They're going to be investigating. They can't investigate themselves. That's rubbish. The KSMC cannot investigate itself. And you hear any outcry, you see any real definitive action from the Minister of Local Government and the Ministry of Local Government or the Office of the Prime Minister to deal with this matter that has been laid bare by the Integrity Commission and now the ODPP, the DPP's office? Nothing. Yes? Mayor Williams and his crew in Kingston. Yeah, why should they be returned when the elections are held? They should be booted. Yeah, they can't maintain their own patch. Yeah, look at what's happening with the KSMC and building approvals. A lot of people benefit from the chaos and the corruption, the under the table thing. Yes, and I see where the Delroy Williams-led Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation issued a statement saying that they're going to be investigating and doing their own review of what the Integrity Commission and the DPP have found in relation to the Barnett matter. Now you tell me, the KSMC is the problem, is part of the problem with NEPA. How are they going to investigate themselves? Nothing is going to come of it. And it wouldn't be the first time that they say that they are doing reviews and investigations and nothing will come of it. You look at the state of town centers and you see that the local authorities are not working. They're not working. And they command every year millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And it is the politically well-connected and their associates who benefit. Communities don't. Yes? And we engage in this pretense that they are local government authorities. Then they're really political feeding trees, troughs. When you look at what's happening in Kingston, the capital city, downtown Kingston. Yes? It's a disgrace in terms of the lack of order and the collection of garbage and the state of the place. Nasty. And we're talking about local government elections. And look at what's happening with the KSMC and building approvals. Yeah? The Barnett case. And before that, several other court rulings that lay bare that the system is broken, is in need of serious and urgent fixes. But the will is not there. The political will is not there to fix it. Because a lot of people benefit. Benefit from the chaos and the corruption, the under the table thing. Yes. And I see where the Delroy Williams-led Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation issued a statement saying that they're going to be investigating and doing their own review of what the Integrity Commission and the DPP have found in relation to the Barnett matter. Now you tell me, the KSMC is the problem, is part of the problem with NEPA. How are they going to investigate themselves? Nothing is going to come of it. And it wouldn't be the first time that they say that they are doing reviews and investigations and nothing will come of it. Yeah? The KSAC, as it was then, now KSMC, they have long passed their sell-by dates. They're, as I said, they are political troughs. Yeah? You look at the state of town centers and you see that the local authorities are not working. They're not working. And they command every year millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And it is the politically well-connected and their associates who benefit. Communities don't. Yeah? Residents of the towns, they are supposed to exercise authority, are not really important. So we're putting up townhouses and villages and whatever and communities, and the rules are observed. In the breach, there's no substantive enforcement of the rules. And it goes on and on and on. And you hear any outcry, you see any real definitive action from the Minister of Local Government and the Ministry of Local Government or the Office of the Prime Minister to deal with this matter that has been laid bare by the Integrity Commission and now the ODPP, the DPP's office? Nothing. Yes? The KSMC tells us, oh, they're going to be investigating. Investigate my foot? Huh? They're going to be investigating. They can't investigate themselves. That's rubbish. The KSMC cannot investigate itself. And we have had too many examples. Huh? Some time ago, it sent some of its technical officers on leave or suspended them. Yeah? And what has happened to those? You remember the incident that went before the court? The Roseberry Drive issue? Nothing. Now the Charlie Mount Barnett issue? Nothing. And it continues. We're not serious. We're not serious about local government. At all. Not serious. There's a lot to talk about. The local elections are well and truly on now. The campaign is on, although there's been no declared date. But they're under starters orders and it's all set to roll now. And I know for us, and this program will be a vehicle through which the contenders will do battle. Yes, I expect that this program and the other programs, some of the other current affairs programs that we do here, will be contested arenas. And it's going to be a difficult 6 weeks from here on until the elections are over. And I can put all of you on warning that I don't want you to come here and peddle lies and half-truths and
Help. We key out of the letter.
We need your divine intervention. We're tired of the labor rights. We're tired of the green people. We are so far. We can't take it no more. We need this. We need this. We need it. Help. Help. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength. Is a liberator.
Jamaica. Is that really Cliff Hughes talking? Or was Cliff Hughes cloned? That can't be Cliff Hughes, Jamaica. Was Cliff Hughes really talking like that? Was Cliff Hughes really talking? I wonder if pop cover here how Cliff Hughes done in party. Only hear how Cliff Hughes done the party? Jamaica, I can't believe that Cliff Hughes was talking like that. It looked like even if Cliff Hughes fed up something wrong. Or I wonder if Cliff Hughes never get above. I wonder if one of the check the which Cliff get. Bounce checking our court in the other subject. I wonder if it's I was from the Rock Hotel. A Rock Hotel that? Lord producer, show me some of their packed up a Rock Hotel. Put it up by the producer. But the truth be told, Jamaica, look like an AI. I couldn't Cliff Hughes. I use artificial intelligence them use span Cliff Hughes. Artificial intelligence them use. Artificial intelligence them use span Cliff Hughes. Artificial intelligence. I don't know about you. But look like Cliff Hughes never get a check. Or look like Cliff Hughes have beef with Feda. Look like Cliff Hughes smell the rat and him start burn out the labor right them from now because I know him need the government paycheck then. Him need the government adds them, so him a burn out the labor right them from now. Cause when him do internal poll, him say backside. It no look good. So him a make sure it's the Insta talk up from now. But Cliff. Hey, Cliff. Too late shall be your cry, Cliffy. A months and years, we tell you, say, stop it. See that now? Because it look like shame and disgrace and a dirty cesspool. You come out, what him say about feather? You know, hear him say about feather, it stink it, this it, that it, ray it, a month, hello. I remember when I was on News Talk Jamaica, I spoke about these building codes. And who doing all kind of skullduggery down at KSMC. And they send cease and desist for me and lawsuit. And me say me now back down. But see it there now, Jamaica story come to bump. Cliff Hughes a talk about it. Other Jamaicans a talk about it. Open up the phone line there. Make people talk about it. Open the phone lines, let people talk about it. Cliff look like him a switch from now. Yeah. Cliff look like him a switch from now. I can't believe Sir Cliff Hughes done the jail piece. The KSAC. But on soon see Jamaica, on soon see. Long time me I tell Cliff Hughes. And you know what I want to say to you, students? I'm asking for you to be respectful in the comments. Some of you are getting a little bit over the edge and you're placed on timeout. I'm asking you all to be respectful in the comments. There are rules and orders for the comments. We cannot, a lot of people are complaining that some things are happening in the comments that they don't like, and they're saying to us, respect the comments. Hello, good night. Welcome to the program.
Good night. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
You're doing good as usual. I see your numbers are climbing. You have great topics. Guess what? Cliff Hughes has to come on now because all the social media people are making him look so bad. I mean, anybody watching his show? So now he has to get real. And the election is there. They're trying to use him though. They're just trying to use him and to trick the people again. But we can't be fooled. We and you keep on doing a good job, man, bringing out information to the people who need to vote.
All right,
God bless you. Take care now. All righty.
Yes, man. Pat Cover now call tonight him shame.
Andrew, baby.
Pat Cover, you now call tonight your shame. Cliff Hughes. Cliff, play a little bit again. So that people hear how Cliff Hughes deal with the man.
They're going to be investigating. They can't investigate themselves. That's rubbish.
Hello, good night.
Good night, Andrestephen.
Yes, sir.
Of exposing the crowd. Listen, I love Dr. Francis, and I am so glued to her wherever I see her and whatever she's saying, because she's educating us on our rights.
Yeah.
So, based on what she's been saying and what ISAT has been saying and what the Ratigan has been saying, one has to say, well, you know what? Jamaican really not need no more law. The law them dead end.
Yes.
The problem is the enforcement of those laws, which is the realization that Mr. U, when the U virgin just a come with. Confused, yeah. In a society, man, him sound like we. You know, it's not when me hear him look a while ago, you know.
I could not believe you confused that.
Miss, when you say you couldn't believe it, Mr. Miss Shock, my ball out of the car, Miss Shock.
Can't believe it's confused.
No, him sound like his us. Him sound like your shoe. Him sound like him dip on the movement side. Like it hit him now that, listen, corruption is just destroying the very quality, the very fabric.
Yes.
The poor people. When he talk about community, when he mention community, He mentioned individuals because it affects individuals. You understand?
Yeah.
And it's not just the politicians, because he also mentioned that there is authority when the police them there. Why we not get no justice from the DPP? It makes no sense that you have a democratic society and there is injustice.
Yes.
It should not exist. There is no point where people should not get justice in a democratic society. And in right, these people use the system for them and them friends. Me say when him a talk like a while ago, my God, him sound like we, sir.
All right.
Cliff Hughes, welcome to the movement, Cliff Hughes. Blessings.
All right, Ron. Hello, good night, Pat Cover.
What, man, Jay?
Why you don't see your Cliff Hughes a cuss out your government?
No, Cliff Hughes not cuss no government, man. So, don't just pick out that part. You know, when Cliff Hughes said the PNP has lost their way, and it's a lazy party, you don't bring, you know, come up with
yeah, but I never expect Cliff Hughes because them say Cliff Hughes is the JLP mouthpiece.
So you never hear Cliff Hughes, they say the PNP can match the JLP machinery. They have lost.
I never hear that part there. I never hear
you
that.
Never hear it?
No.
But you hear this, yeah?
Yeah, me hear that part, yeah.
Yeah, me, man. No, that yeah, me, man. JLP is unstoppable, man. Let me tell you that, Angie.
So you reach back a St. Elizabeth now? You reach back a St. Elizabeth now?
Yeah, man. Me in a hills. Me a maroon, you know, man.
Oh, yeah, maroon.
Strictly maroon, man. Now we fight for the right, man.
So me never know the maroon and labor right. You know, I'm not switch up the thing now. Hey!
Well, we are talking about if maroon and labor right, because you and then you believe maroon can remember who did enslave you, you know, man.
So who enslaved you now?
Not the king.
Not the king.
Then the king, white man.
But yeah, but one time I think the maroon and my PNP, but you say maroon and labor right now.
Which part? Maroon always split, man. Cut and more labor right there, maroon to maroon, man.
All right, God bless you.
I don't care.
God bless you, Pat. I'm going to take some more.
Don't run, man. Don't run. Where you run for me for?
No, me have to take some more, Carl. God bless you. Hello, good night, welcome.
Yes, night, Andrew. It's St. Best. St. Best the best this, not Pat Cover.
Yes, St. Best. What you saying?
Yeah, what me answer now. Pat Cover talk about machinery.
Yeah.
The PMP don't need no machinery right now because the whole Jamaica is against the JLP. Remember, no matter how you think that you well equipped and have all the money, you know, people turn into, you know, them take your money and vote you out, you know. So machinery or no machinery, people in our sector, you know, confused. We know say JLP mouthpiece, but I always listen to him, you know, because I'm objective at some point in time.
Yes.
So you can't kill him all the time. So when him see he reach to that core where he rotten, he just have to speak about
but I can't believe Cliff Hughes would have behaved so.
Yeah, well, you see, he reached a point, you know, everybody have a point, you know, where them walk, you know, and he can't go no further, you know. So until as the old people in there say, boy, time longer than rope. So the rope in there now, so time come.
Okay.
All right, boss.
All right, God bless you.
God bless you too. You know.
But I still can't come to the reality that Cliff Hughes behave like that. I still can't come to the reality, Jamaica, that Cliff Hughes behave like that. It's rather strange, and it makes me to question tonight what could have provoked him to spark like that.
Professor, I think you hear something.
But Jamaica, I think that is where I can leave it for tonight. Tomorrow night, you know, Mr. Finsey Smith joins me back in studio. But Jamaica, before I go, it's only one student contribute tonight to the GoFundMe. Lord Jesus, one of the next top student, them are called. Students, support the GoFundMe, no, man. Support the GoFundMe, man. Let your teacher get the restaurant so I can cook food no after. Hello, good night. Welcome to the program.
Good night, you, my friend.
Yes, my friend.
It was so refreshing to hear that lady speak, and most of all, what I really appreciated was the patois. was spoken. It's Jamaica's language, even though they don't want to officially make it, because that is how they take our identity from us, by taking away our culture. But when she speak about the working field, been working in the tourism industry, and it's a shame to see how we treat our pregnant women.
Really?
Yeah, man, they're not being protected, and they are not
pregnant
being.
Women in the tourism industry.
They are not being protected, and it is such a shame to see that they're expected to carry out the same duties as everyone else, even though they're in their most vulnerable stage of life, which we all came from one of those, from pregnancy, and that is
so. What are some of the treatments that the pregnant women in tourism receive? The workers.
The treatment that they have to be carrying out the same function, no matter which stage of their pregnancy it is, and there are many complaints from them, and it's like they don't have any protection. There, especially like when it's the Spanish-owned hotels, they have no remorse, no care for them. They have been, even if they sit, they're being harassed while you're kicking and all of those things. It's a shame to see. And even the overall treatment of the staff, I'm just checking. People who work in the tourism industry, are they Jamaicans, and are they protected by the Jamaican government? If so, it's not being shown.
Wow.
Inside the work field, and it is such a shame and a disgrace. It's like you're not a Jamaican, and you have Jamaican company, a prominent Jamaican hotel company that has hotels in different chains across the Caribbean. Yes. And these persons are paid better and also treated better. And
you're talking about Sandals?
Well, you draw your own conclusion.
Yes, you prominent across the Caribbean. So it must be
1 plus 1 will equal the number that we all know.
Oh.
And they have exchange program where a lot of Jamaicans go to these Caribbean countries for a better income. And these are some things that I believe should be looked at, and there should be major changes. There's too much contract workers inside the hotel system.
Yes.
People having little to no benefit.
Yes.
And they're expected to do some crazy hours. And this is right across the board. So it is something I believe government should look at. Yes. And again, it's so refreshing when you hear the lady spoke about the different workers' rights, and how, and it really bothers me how to see how pregnant women are being treated in our working system. It's something that really should be looked at, and there should be a major change in it. Because we need our women. All right?
All right. God bless you. All right?
You as well.
Yes. Boy, the tourism workers really meet the fate, man. The tourism workers really met the fate. But as I'm saying tonight, students, is let me just go on the GoFundMe and say the one person who gave tonight. To Miss Henley, Miss J. Henley, thank you for the $10. Even if I won, me still appreciate it. Even if I won, me still appreciate. But students, the way in which Cliff Hughes go on, I can't believe I Cliff Hughes that. I cannot believe it's Cliff Hughes that. Something is wrong, and I'm going to investigate why Cliff Hughes behave like that. Until next time, until tomorrow night, my name is Andre Stephens, and I'm signing out from the Padma Draw TV. Good night, Jamaica.